is something that serves you well when you're an American and you first move to Amsterdam and you're trying not to get killed by trams and trains and bikes. Fear is good in those kinds of circumstances. When it's life and death and you need to be quick, thinking on your feet, fear can help you. When you're trying to decide whether to run from the bear, stay, it might paralyze you. And fear in everyday business, personal, goal accomplishing, when you're trying to just get your life going in the way that you want it to go, fear has no place. None. Zero. Fear is your enemy, and you have to learn how to kick its ass, how to put it in its place, and how to use it to propel you into what you really want. And the way that you use fear is to become fearless. And because of my past experiences and my life story, I have overcome huge, huge, huge mountains of fear that people have wanted to pile on me, and that I've said, you know what, fuck you, I'm not going to be fearful, I'm not going to take on the energy that you want me to take on, I'm going to be my own badass self and do what I need to do and deliver the message that I need to deliver. So, you can say to yourself, yes, you want to be a little more fearless, don't you? Admit that to yourself. Say that to yourself. I want to be a little more fearless. All right? Say it. I want to be fearless. Mean it. I want to be fearless. 3 things. All of my massive massive life experiences have led me to break it down as simply as I can break it down for you, so hopefully you don't have to go through the trauma that I've been through. And come out of those places of fear quicker. And be able to accomplish, maybe without even having to deal with fear at all. Maybe you can take this and become the most fearless motherfucker that ever existed. First thing you gotta do, I'm convinced of it, you have to own your story. Your story doesn't own you, but you gotta own your story. And your story's cool because there's nobody else's like it. It is yours. It's uniquely yours. It belongs to you, and it's cool. Your story is awesome. There should be no shame. Society tries to shame people. No shame. We're humans having a life experience. Have your life experience and be proud of it. Be proud of all those things that you did because it's led you to the place that you are now. Embrace it. Stop allowing your parents to shame you. Don't allow your teachers to tell you you're not good enough. Religion, no, they have it all wrong. It's all wrong. Honestly, the path to fearlessness, where you can become a giant in whatever it is, and I'm going to get to that in a minute, is to truly, truly own your story. Own it. Now, if you don't know enough about your story, or you've never been able to just tell your story in a quick synopsis, then it's time to do that. So write this down. Own your story. And then, after I'm done, go back through and put this in practical application. That's the only way to get good at something, is to do it. So put it into practical application and say, This is my story. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? Here's my story. Here's my story. Here's why I'm a badass motherfucker now. I own my story. My story is something I'm extremely proud of because going through all of these experiences has given me the insight that I have, the passion that I have. Not the cold that I have. I was raised by hippies. 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 Without much guidance. I was born in 1967. I'm 47 years old on this date. 2 years before Woodstock. Okay, so my parents are 17 and 18. Oh, fuck, we're pregnant. Let's get married, even though our astrological charts are totally opposite. They get married. They demonstrate an awful marriage to me my entire life that I'm growing up, and didn't give me hardly any guidance at all. I've always had to learn things the hard way. Always had to learn things the hard way. I got married, had 2 children, became a tongue-speaking evangelical pastor. Shalabare so kalamare, but tongue-speaking, healing, preaching, evangelist, extremely effective evangelist, because I believed in what I had taken on as a religion so deeply. And it completely blinded me, but I'm so glad I had that experience because I can see religion now from an insider perspective and an outsider perspective. I have both. I got divorced. I came out as a lesbian in a small town. Lots of this shit going on. Everywhere I went. People pointing and whispering. Everywhere I went. Can you imagine being in a small town, 30,000 people, 45, 50 in the county? Everybody knew who I was. I was a very public figure in my town. I had volunteered. I had been this pastor. I was a business person and loud and outspoken. So here I come out as gay, shocked the shit out of everybody. And I owned it. You know, I think that people are bisexual. I do. I think everybody pretty much is. And I think the Kinsey report proved that there's very few that are extremely hetero or very few that are extremely homo. Most of us are in the middle somewhere. People are just too afraid to admit it. They really are. My daughter decided that she wanted the most scandalous photo of all scandalous photos as her senior yearbook photo. I stood beside her because I loved her passion at the injustice that she saw, which was true, with a student press law thing, and I just thought she was brilliant for standing up against it. We went on the Today Show. People hated us, thought she, oh my God, the bullying that came from that was eye-opening. The things that I've been called as a mother had death threats. People, they're very aggressive. A few months later, had a party at my house for her during the day. Her friends show up late at night while I'm in bed. Cops come. We both get arrested. Mugshot of all mugshots on the internet. My mugshot and Nick Nolte's mugshot, hand in hand, competition for best one. I think I get number 1, but I think, Nick Nolte's more popular than me, so he'd get number 1. Totally not fair. Move to Amsterdam, start a business, a spiritual caregiving business, our own reality show. Let me tell you, if you don't love your life and your person, nobody will. Nobody gives a shit. You have to own your own story and be okay with it. Not only be okay with it, but be proud of it. There are no mistakes. Everything that you have done is cool. Everything that you have done, even if you landed in prison them for doing something, whatever. It's kind of like, well, you know what? You have that story. That molds you and changed you. So, the whole judgment piece that people do, fuck them. Fuck them. Own your story. It will make you fearless. It will make you fearless. Don't let anybody shame you. Don't let anybody take it away from you. Be fearless. Okay. So, you want to be fearless? Number 1, own your story. Own your story. After we're done, you write that shit down and you claim it. It's yours. It's uniquely yours. Be proud of it. Number 2, if you want to be a fearless, badass motherfucker, I just curse a lot, and that's part of who I am. It's being authentic. I mean, that's part of your story, is just sort of who you are, right? So allow that to come out. Allow that to be. Be silly if you're silly. Be funny if you're funny. Be passionate if you're passionate. Be ornery if you're ornery. Whatever, whoever, let it come out. Be fearless. Okay. Number 2. If you really want to be fearless, if you really, really want to be fearless, you're owning your story. That you are passionate about your endeavors because you have found out what turns you on. That's number 2. First, you got to own your story, own who you are, own it, own it, own it, own it. Second thing, you got to figure out what turns you on. What turns you on? You got to find it. And it's just got to overcome you. Like, if you start by just saying, what am I interested in? What's interesting to me? That's a good place to start. And then keep going down those rabbit holes until you find your passion. Because that's how it works. Whatever you're interested in, narrow it down and you'll find it. For me, I'm very interested in women rising up into their power because I think women are compassionate, beautiful beings. They have the spirit of the mother. And I think this world is a fucked up place because we have had very aggressive, testosterone-filled people in charge of the whole world. And so as women come up, it's going to soften the world and make it a more peaceful, better place. And I'm a vegan. I think that to pay somebody to slaughter an animal and then to wear that animal when I love animals is horrific. Can't participate in it. So I'm passionate about, I'm in the grocery store, dude. I'm like telling people, aren't tomatoes just the most wonderful, beautiful things you've ever seen in your life? I slice them up, I have them for breakfast with my hash browns. Like, I'm very passionate about being a vegan because I really think that animals have it the worst. We enslave them and we rape them and we brutalize them. That's my passion. That's what gets me fired up, and I want to change the world. I want women to rise up, and I want people to understand that mindlessly going about their business and buying leather gloves or leather shoes, there was a face behind that. There was a person. Well, I think sometimes animals are better people than people are, That's my passion. What's yours? Find what turns you on. Get excited about it. If you're seriously not, completely engaged with what it is, and it's coming from a really beautiful place, then you haven't found your passion yet. So if you want to be fearless, you got to own your story, and you got to find out what turns you on. This requires a little work. Both do, right? Once you do that, third step, best step, you got to put your fuck you blinders on and wear those bitches all the time. Nobody should tell you what to do or how to do it. In fact, I'm very much a believer, if you're an artist, if you are a mother, if you are a manager, that you shouldn't always seek out everybody else's advice, because it dilutes it dilutes who and what you are and the impact that you can have. And typically, it makes it softer. It makes you want to, like, pull back a little bit so you don't offend anybody. But once you do that, you become average. That's not interesting. Fearlessness requires this. You got to stay focused on what you want to do and not give a fuck about anybody else's opinions. Fuck their opinions. Fuck them. Really, honestly, it doesn't matter, and they don't care about you that much anyway. Most people want you to fail. Most people do want other people to fail. It's weird. I don't understand it. It's the strangest phenomenon. It really makes me sad. That if you want to be fearless, you don't pay any attention to anything, and really stop seeking out specific advice and feedback on your art. This is your life is your art. Who cares what other people think? Whatever is coming up out of your spirit is beautiful. And if you can focus it on something that's bigger than you, like veganism, I feel like it's my duty to try to get people to understand the plight that animals are in. That we mindlessly eat them and wear them, and we don't give a shit. Our oceans are emptying. So, whatever it is for you, whatever you find, you're going to bring that into the world and make the world a better place. You are. As long as you have your fuck you blinders on. As long as you own who you are and own your story. I hear little Dutch people. I love them. I love my little Dutchland. So, I challenge you. You want to be fearless. I know you do. Because when you are fearless, you have breakthrough in life. Huge breakthrough in life. Own your story. Love yourself. Love it. Just allow it to be birthed and come out and just, boom, magnify it. Don't hold back. Remember what 2 is? Find what turns you on. Gotta have that. Gotta have that. Something's gotta turn you on. And don't let it be religion. Because that's just other people's whatever coming at you. You think for yourself. And then remember those blinders, those glasses, those walls. When you do this, you allow your genius to be birthed in an authentic way. And that is what this world needs more of. Mwah. Is that all I want to say? I think that is all I want to say. Is that all I want to say? I suppose that's all I want to say. I practiced my Dutch words in the grocery store this morning, and they're not laughing at me as much anymore. They're quite kind. One of the ladies told me, "You are doing very well." I know 10 words. Oh, I love it here. Mwah. Go be fearless. Go kick some ass. Be fearless. Be fearless.